Hello. We got music today. I hope it's not too loud or too quiet. Let me just make my status change so people know where I am. And then I can lift the curtain. And we can make some voxel art today. That's good. Okay. Alright. I lowered my voice a little bit. Maybe that's less aggressive. I don't know. Almost done. Post is posted. Okay. Good deal. Hi, Zergling. How's it going? Hi, a lethal jelly bean. Hope you're doing well. Is going. Well, I hope it goes better. It's only Monday. There's still lots of time to like have a good day. Or have a good week, get a good start, you know what I mean? Okay, I had a plan today because it's the start of November and I want to do something very fall themey that's a little bit removed from Halloween since we just had Halloween. So now that I'm all hopped up on Halloween candy, I'm going to make something that's just autumnal. Autumnal? Autumnal? And I have like a little chicken scratch note of like, okay, here's the plan. If you remember our last great big scene, I had like a chicken scratch sketch. Now it's just a chicken scratch note. So we're going to try to make an acorn with a face and maybe some little limbs sitting on a windowsill, make a little slice of pumpkin pie. And a coffee on there with him. And on the other side of the glass, maybe golden light comes in. There's some autumn leaves falling. And as a stretch goal, I might put a squirrel on the other side of the glass trying to get to the acorn. But we don't know if we'll get that far. To start with, I don't know what the scale is really going to be for the scene. That's usually the first hurdle, is finding out what voxel scale I want it to be. I'm just gonna start with that much and try to make a like a little round cube, I guess, and sculpt out his face from there, you know? That might be big enough, I think. Might be too big even. And try to start there and we'll build out from there. I still think that's way too big. And maybe I'll just round it a little bit more. I should just, instead of doing all this like a million times, this is going to be 20, 20, and 20. I'm going to make it round all the way around. There. So our mirror behaves top and bottom as well. I am so sugar addled with all the candy that I can feel myself. I'm gonna have like a sugar crash. It's just a matter of time. I'll try to make it anyway. Oh, right. Maybe not that part. Maybe not for now. Oh, this way. And you give him a little face. Around the eyes, I don't know. A little chibi dude. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of this scale and put him on like an uneven number of voxels if I can remember to switch between the arrow tool and the select tools. Every time I come back to Magicavoxel, I forget that you have to do that manually. Every time. Very smooth jazzy, this channel. I feel like I'm making art in an elevator, you know what I mean? But this is it's Game Chops. And it's like supposed to be like lo-fi remixes of video game music. What is this one supposed to be? Live from Pallet Town. I don't even remember what Pallet Town's theme was like. It's only been, what, 20 years or something since I've played it. There we go. Got a little face. I'm gonna make this a bit more acorny in brightness and saturation. And the next color I'm gonna need is probably his hat. A little acorn cap, right? I wish I could make that bigger. Can I? Yeah, okay. I just need more thinness on that. That's good. And from here on we can 3 up. Yeah, let's just increase it all the way around by 3. Or 4. Push it up to 23 on all sides. That'll do. Wait, more on the bottom. I forget that like acorns, they kind of have like a long bit at the bottom, right? Kind of elongate and round off a bit more. So let's do that now. And just get rid of this excess. Ooh. Not quite like that. There we go. He's very angular currently. Not sure if I'm a fan of that. Where do I want to round him off? I'm not sure. Or if I even want to, you know? It's like this could probably come outwards by 1 on each. And then just be a bit chunkier in size, right? Then it looks a little less aggressive when we trim up. Possibly. It's a maybe. I can leave it there for now. Do you want to give him one more face down there though? Just in case. Wait a sec. Because this comes in by 2 and then by 2. If I just brought this out one more and just reduce the amount of taper. A little bit more. I think that's it. I think that's our shape. Okay. Good deal. Now this part is probably going to have to come down to there. I'm not sure yet. Big hat. And we'll just shave it from there. I could probably make that its own object. Yeah, okay, cool. And then when we get it into Blender, we can, you know, put a little funky tilt on the hat, right? Okay, so I'm going to keep that separated. And I think it needs a stem, right? I think. Here. Nope. There. Very thin little stem. I'm going to make it bigger just because I can. Give it more emphasis. And round that off a little bit more. I'm trying to add faces, not remove them. Come on. There we go. Is that too much? Or just right? I think that's what I'm going with. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Okay, you got your hat. You got your acorn dude. Let's work on his face for a second. Just give him a nicer face. Why am I giving him like a cat mouth? For no reason whatsoever. He doesn't need a nose. Too wide. Way too wide. It's a creepy amount of width for a smile. There we are. I think that's better. And I'm gonna give him like just a white color as well, just to see. I don't think this is it. No, probably not. He looks so surprised like that. It's not terribly bad, it just needs something else. And I'm not sure what. If I give him little eyebrows. I'm not sure. Or maybe his eyes are closed. I'm trying to think of what his little blink animation might be. You know, I kind of like the low-lidded look. Let me see if I can lean into that for a second. I don't know why I'm trying to give them eyelashes. So hard. It's kind of chill. I hope y'all don't mind me just zooming in and out, like, constantly. Like, I don't know if I give y'all whiplash when I do this. Maybe I should get into the habit of, like, physically leaning away from the screen. But then I would drift away from the mic. Who knows? I don't know. I'll lower this a little bit more. Have I been... Oh my god. I think this was the mirror I need to turn on. Yeah, okay. There. Now there's only one face to worry about. Okay. I wanted to drop that expression a little bit more. Can I widen the eyes? Is that something I can get away with? Because I need to remember that this, I plan for this to be like this small in the total scene. So maybe giving them more real estate in the face is going to help me out later. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And should I paint a little nose? I don't know. Just give them a boop of a nose like that. I like it. I like it enough to keep it. I meant to paint that, not add. Or what if I just like took like a little makeup angle? Is that too crazy? Bam. Okay, maybe not. That's good enough to leave alone, I'm sure. Nope, not that button. Shift? Yeah, okay. Get you guys above board in the scene here. So the whole rest of the scene. Hiya, Defiant! Welcome back! How were your adventures out in the world? I'm making a little, yeah, just a little acorn. Here, okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna put an acorn on a windowsill with pumpkin pie, coffee, very fall things, right? That's where we're going with this. It was pretty good. That's awesome. I hope you had a good time. Let me go ahead and save this somewhere and don't lose it. I'll call it acorn scene. Cool. Hung out with your cousins, went on a walk in the woods, went to the zoo, and an amusement park. Busy. Exciting. I hope y'all got to see capybaras. They are the best. What am I looking to make next? I guess we could set the scene for like how big the windowsill itself is going to be. Let me make what I think my windowsill color is. I'll make a new object. And this needs to be way bigger. Bigger. Is that big enough? Like 200 in height. More. Okay. And give it about 5 and then trim it up. Probably gonna redraw the scale of this a few times, but the main frame of it's gonna be like that. I am kind of worried that it's still too big of a scale. Like if I made it mixed voxel resolution, I think it would look better. I don't want anything in particular to be too high definition, you know what I mean? Because then it just loses the beauty of being voxel art in the first place. Because like if I start beveling this into like some cute little details, it's so infinitesimally small as to be almost unnoticeable. So when we get into the 3D scene and our shader is trying to highlight those edges, it's not gonna pick up on it enough, I think, to matter. Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna make everything to scale. Forget working at scale. I am just going to make everything to its own individual scale. For this scene, I think maybe we can get away with it. I don't know yet, but we're going to try to get away with it. I don't see any reason that anything in this scene needs to be that crazy big. It was 100 and then, I don't know, 60 and 60? What is a good resolution for a window? 70. Try that. 75? That looks a little bit more... That looks more window-like, I guess. Okay. Don't need it to be symmetrical on that end just yet. 3, 4, probably 5 voxels thick. And 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what else do I want? Get this part of the window broken out. Oh, this needs to be fixed, actually. Hold on. Just by one. Perfect. And I guess from here we can make the windowsill. Do I want to detail that? No, I don't. I don't really want to do that. Pull this forward because the whole scene is going to take place like right here. So I need a lot of windowsill to work with. Like a lot of windowsill. Whoa, not the top. Okay, hold on. Not that part. That seems about right. What else could I do here? Don't know if that's really going to be seen, but I think it's going to matter to me later. I'm also going to give this window some little feetsies. Yeah, I'm going to keep it in by 1 and just bring it out. Give it a nice little trim. I think I'm good with that. The next thing I'm realizing that I don't like is that this just goes straight into the windowsill. That's probably I've got to change that. So let me give them some more height. Just gonna copy and flip this. There we go. Oh, get back in there. And slide that back into place. That looks right to me, at least. Yep, that's what I'm going with. There's our window. And the next thing I want is probably some pumpkin pie. So let's make some pumpkin pie. Window, corn, just keep our stuff labeled, because I will lose track very quickly. I should probably look up, I should look at some pumpkin pie for reference real quick. It's very simple looking. It's just the whipped cream on top and the color of it that kind of sells it. So let's try to make a believable pumpkin pie. I want to grab a sphere shader. That is much too big. Let's go with like that big. I don't want to do the whole pumpkin like pie anyway. It's just a slice of it that I want. So far we're just trying to get a single slice of pumpkin pie. I can probably make this bigger, right? Like add this much, and then we'll just take like a little quarter out of it. I'm gonna erase in lines and see if that gives me a good slice. I think no matter what, one of them is going to be way too much. Like this, maybe? Just attach a line back in. I wish I could hold shift like you can in Sprite and then get it perfectly back in there, but Whatever. Can always just grab the excess and just boop, get rid of it. Very resi on this side. Am I going to be able to get away with it? Or do I care enough? I really don't want to spend a whole week on this like we did with the last scene, because the last scene was fun, but this is really just... I just want to do something very fall for the start of the month. I don't want to spend the whole month doing it, you know? Let me get a whipped cream kind of color and put a dollop just right in the middle of the slice here. And I like copy and paste that around the edge a bit more, like for some trim detail. I should actually make this have like a crust, like 2 voxels worth of crust, I think, in any given direction. And probably just 1 at the bottom. You should probably be more orange and a bit brighter. And your crust color, I'm going to have be a bit pale and brighter. Where's the right blend here? And just extrude out our pumpkin pie crust. And like, that's nice enough, I think, to get away with, but I want the crust to kind of go up and outward. So let's see if I can do that. Like that, you know? It's about there. And now it needs to also be thicker, I think. So yeah, by 1 more is probably all I need. I think I like that. Let me just remove a little bit of the base, so it's not so perfectly round, like sharp at the bottom. Can I round it a little bit more at the top here? Or is that too much? Seems like a bit too much. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna put this on a plate, but like later in a little bit. I'm gonna make a couple of tests. Or I just mess with the scale for a second. There. Just another version in case this becomes too resolution heavy. I'm really glad that that scaled down without much of a fight. But yeah. Backup plan. We're just going to leave it in the scene as a backup plan. Tie. Give the whole file a save. And what else do I want in our scene here? Yeah, we can do the plate. It's only gonna take a second. It probably doesn't need to be any bigger than like this. Like by that far, you know? And I'm gonna go ahead and put the mirror on and start carving this into a round that I like. I think that's good enough. I'm just going to take out the center by about 2 voxels on every side. Hiya, Captain Melon. Smiley day? Yes. It's a pretty good, pretty chill Monday. I'm just doing some autumnal scene. I'm just making all the pieces that we're going to need. And then we'll take it over to Blender and start assembling it. I think I'll only drop it in by 1 voxel here. And I might even give it a little paint color. Way too lemon lime. There we go. It's too decorated, I think. Too much, too much. Yeah, that's enough, I think. I'm gonna leave that as our plate. We can probably use the same formula for the cup. And for the cup, it should be probably closer in scale with the plate. Which doesn't give us too much room to work with, but it should be enough. Like that big, max. That should be enough. And as for the handle, got to remember that those tools are separate every single time. Every single time I do this. Then I can just pull the handle into place. Easy peasy. And sculpt the mug a little bit more at the bottom. Seems like a nice cup of joe. I wonder when we started calling it that. I'll go ahead and paint a little rim for a coffee cup, and maybe the handle as well. Or like this much of the mug. Because I don't want it to get lost on the windowsill, you know? What if I just use the white as like an accent color? Maybe by one more. You could probably do this mug a million ways and just not settling down on anything. I think I'll settle on a white handle and like a half dipped Look, like that. Should I put like a little saucer for it too? I don't know. We'll just copy the plate if it comes down to it. That's pretty big though. Nope, that's too small. That's better, I suppose. Oh, I think your mirror is all kind of crazy now. That's okay. Just gonna fix a little bit at the bottom. Right, that probably has to stay there to make sense. In that case, I'll just thicken up the rim of the plate all the way across. And paint the face of it. Or maybe around the side. No, that's too gnarly. That'll do. That'll do. Okay. Couple of plates, couple slices of pie, some coffee, acorn, window. What else do I need? For our idea to work, I think I need some leaves. Golden light and autumn leaves falling. Okay. Okie doke. Let's make some leaves. I'm definitely going to need reference for this. Start with an oak leaf. Oh, that is entirely too rounded. Yeah, we can do it. Go with like an uneven number though. Is that oak leafy? Oak leafy enough? I think I need to pull this whole thing down a little bit more. Like there? Yeah. And just round out the interiors. Might be enough to get away with. Not super sure, but like, don't want to spend forever on each individual leaf, right? That's way too even. It has to taper off. Why am I still messing with this? Just let it go. I gotta let it go. All right. It should be probably orange. I'm just gonna copy this color over to save on sanity and use as many colors twice as I can get away with. Probably more geometry than it needs. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Leave it alone. Nope, didn't mean to do the whole thing. It's probably spending way too much time on that. And adding more than it needs. That's enough. That is enough. Leaf 1, done. Leaf 2. What should our second leaf be? Maple? Yeah, maple. That one's gonna have to be red. Okay. It only needs to be one voxel high. And it goes like out into sharp juts until it gets about the center. like that, I think. Let's just sharpen it up from there, I guess. It might be enough to get away with just like that. Do I really want to do much stem work on this one? No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'll leave it and do the next one. Oh, backwards. There we go. And the next one should be, what's a good fall leaf variety? We don't have any just plain rounded leaves. So at least one of those. And it can be green or yellow, maybe both. You know, one of those. Just a classic leafiest leaf you've ever seen. Nope. There. That seems good to me. Yeah, I'm not going to bother too much with the leaf details because they're going to be falling in the background on the other side of some glass and everything anyway. So over there you go. What else? One more, but like in yellow. So we get the whole gamut of like fall colors. And maybe ginkgo? Is it ginkgo leaf? Is that too shapy for some variety? I like that they kind of turn a very pretty yellow. And our size should be 39, 39, and 1. Okay. And it just goes straight out like a fan, like that. But it's also way smaller, so let's try to keep it small. Like that. And just round it off from there, really. Okay, got all our leaves. Let's trim their objects up for no reason at all. And give it a save. Do I want to do anything like curtains? I kind of think it's going to give me more trouble than it's worth. If I do, Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip it. Yep, skipping it. And what else can I do here? Do I want to do the glass? I guess I could. Yeah, let's do it. Well, I'm gonna take a second. And then paste it back in as a known object. Trim the scale up, and there you go. That's it. That's the whole process of the glass. What else can I use? Our little guy needs to have limbs. That was right. That was something I wanted. Okay. Give our little guy some limbs. Nothing too crazy. Just like little nubbins, you know? That are probably this far into the model. It needs to be like stretched out one more, and on the back as well. Okay. And add a little face to both of these and just trim it up. Bring it into position so everything stays nice and even. And as for the feet, little feet nubbins as well. Can probably be the same thing, really, but maybe like one voxel bigger, you know? I think that's kind of what I have in mind. It could be a little longer or shorter, I'm not sure, but we'll split those up when we get it imported. And do I want them to have like a scarf? Pumpkin pie. Yep. I kind of want some pumpkin pie, but I'm really all sugared out from all the Halloween candy. I could put like a little scarf here on the bottom, but then I lose all of that curvature that like really tells you that this is an acorn. Another option, though, is if I put a little scarf hanging over the side of the windowsill. Am I able to make it rainy in voxel art? Yeah, absolutely. Do you want it to be a rainy scene? I'm just having a thought that I should put some curves into these leaves so they're not so flat. Maybe I'll just make copies of them that have a bit more curvature for some variety. Maybe, I think you know best. It's gonna have leaves falling in the background. We can test that out with the golden, like, afternoon light, which was the original plan. And if we don't like it or it's too much, then we can do rain as well. Rain will only take a second because the rain particles are really just like a cube. You're not looking at it long enough to really pick up any detail. You don't have to sculpt a raindrop, right? Makes things easier. Let me just copy these and jump in and give them some shape. I'm just going to do by grabbing little sections of it at a time and pulling upward. Like that. It should make like a little bit more interest when they start turning in 3D space. Just try to get my camera in a good spot. And start pulling the model around, really. No, I've grabbed too much. Hold on. This much. And then, like, I'll grab the whole thing on one end and lift it one more time. Like that. I can probably do just a little bit more here. Pinch that down. I can even go over here and lower these just a bit. And try to grab this a bit more cleanly. Oh, it's gonna fight me the whole way. There. It's not terribly efficient, but just a little bit prettier for a background object. Oh yeah, there's a new Animal Crossing update, that's right. I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but I'm glad they're still going, at least. This one kind of stays pretty flat, even when it's falling. As far as I can tell, so I'm gonna skip that one. And I'll just stretch this one up a bit. And up it goes. Give it another lift. There we go. Now we got flat and curved leaves. To work with. And the last thing I might make is a scarf hanging off the side of this. Just trying to block out where it's gonna be and trim that down, kind of like that. Well, from here we can do some mirroring. And I don't know, maybe I'll like put a little notch in it so it like looks like it's folded over. Nah. Nope. I'll just do that and maybe like put some tassels at the bottom, you know? Like that. It should be the same across the back too, so just pull that in a bit and we'll give them a color. Nope. Is that a bit? That's a bit obnoxious, I think. I don't know. It's a bit more autumnal. Autumny, I guess. I bet I could sell that this is like a layered scarf if I just put another copy of it back here and then pull it up, you know? But then I have to like bring it further away. I don't know. Like that. By at least one more. Maybe two. Okay, let's try that. Nope, not in that color. I'm going to try to scooch this in a direction. I'm not sure which direction, just a direction. like that, you know, so it looks a bit layered. I have at least one more. I need to see one of those tassels poking out a bit more. I think that'll do it. Nope, not that way. Does that look believable? Should probably pull it away from this and clean it up. And just like round off the edges so that it feels a bit softer. There we go. Now I can lay this probably along the edge of our scene. Like that. And I think that's everything we need to bring this over to Blender. Let's give it a save and import it. Now for the fun stuff. Where's my voxel file? There we go. Don't want to join the models. You might want to do a greedy mesh. We'll try it first that way and see. I think we can get away with doing a single vertex color stuff. We'll try it that way. Oh no. What in the world? What does that mean? I don't know why I'm looking at this as if it means anything to me. I did recently switch to a different Blender version though, so let's try it in the old one, if I can find it. And try to remember where I put that Blender. There's 4.5. Oh no, it only sees 4.5 now. I know I still have the other one, I just don't know where it is. I'm still not used to Linux, where it puts things. In just a moment while I dig around. And try to find it. I might just try to, because I still have the download, reinstall it real quick. I'm just going to extract another Blender 4.3 or 4.4 and open that. This should work, right? I blame my Blender class for making me install 4.5 and breaking my stuff. All right, we got 4.4 open. And we're going to try again. I'm looking for our acorn scene. Greedy mesh, vertex color. Try it again. See? It accidentally selected a directory instead of a file? Oh. So maybe it would have worked with 4.5? Oh well. We've already got it working in 4.3 or 4.4. So that's what we're going to stick with. Get everything out of the way until I'm ready for it to be in the scene. And get our camera in position. It's really weird rotations. Should I clean this up or like accept it as is? I don't really know yet. I'll get back to that in a minute. First thing I know we're going to want is to actually have it be facing everything that's already facing forward. Better to change it than to change everything else. It's 90, or really like 45. And then Z 45. Other way, negative 45. Maybe like 65? I'm not really sold on where I should put the camera. But for now, that'll work. I'll break the glass. Should I set up the material already and just append all of our stuff? I guess so. We don't need this. We don't need that. Just this. And maybe these guys. Just to make sure it works with the light. And make sure you're like a sunlight. Pouring in from like that way. And then another fill light. I don't know, like an area. Should be about like 500 watts or something. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. I just want to make sure it works first. Just really give me some light to work with, thank you. Okay. Everything's in the scene. Now we can append our material and make sure it works. And I am looking for our cozy room from before. All I really want to find here is the one material. Not texture, like shader? Yeah, material. Here we go. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Ta-da! I broke it. But like, broke it with intention. Which I think it's the same thing here as here. Yeah, here's still named color, and you're still using the right color, so far so good, kinda. I just need to make sure everything is using it, which I don't think I can do in a convenient way, can I? Let me get out of that weird FOV. I mean, it is using the color data we gave it, so there's that. It wouldn't let me do that with multiple things, would it? Nope. Okay. Why is that? That's okay. We're almost done. It doesn't really matter. There. Everybody's on the right stuff. And it's working kind of. Kind of? Kind of, sort of. Now I just need to figure out what light it is that's actually messing with things in a weird way. or if it's working at all. I wonder what's happening there. It should be black. Like it's doing the first part, it's doing the ambient occlusion, but it's not doing the toon shading. Always the toon shader that wants to cause problems. So what is it? Like that doesn't seem to be doing anything. That doesn't work. I think it would be this if I did that. Ooh, well, it kind of does it, but not really. Very murky. Why is it so murky? I sure hope I get to the point of Blender understanding where I can actually just plug and play a material and it doesn't, you know, explode. It's going to be really cool when I get there. I guess for now I'll just start moving things into collections while I have a big think about why everything broke. Leaves. Great. And then for the most part, everything in this collection can go far, far, far away. And I can go ahead and set up the scene. Just going to separate these. It's going to be leg, right, the right leg. And you're going to be the left leg. And that's going to be leg or arm left, right? Yeah, arm left. And you're going to be arm right. Acorn. Acorn hat. You know what? I'm tired of pressing one and everything goes to the left. So give me a second. There. Everybody gets to have applied rotations. Even the light and the camera, because I don't care right now about that. So you, and you two as well. Going to go closer to center. I think that's close enough to through the center. And let's get our coffee into the scene. Onto the plate. Probably just want to snap it to edges for this part. There. And this can probably be parented to that. But I don't think it really matters. Just join them for now. Because I can just go in here and like grab all of this and rotate it in whatever way. How do I want to position this? I think you're taking up too much real estate, so I'm going to have to move you into a collection. Acorn. And scale you down. So there's room for our pie. Probably that far in is fine. I'm just going to rotate this a little bit. So they're wearing it more like a hat. A little bit more cutesy. Can I move your origin point to 3D cursor? Save on some sanity later. I don't need it to be perfect, I just need it to be close. There. Probably not the best way to do that, but faster. Oh, not that. Here we go. Oh, nope, not that. There we go. Yeah, I'll try to keep it at the same scale. And if I like point the legs outward a bit, maybe. There we go. And then I'll just parent all of this up. And you can probably like sit back a little bit more on the surface. Or maybe you can be like a little less tumultuously on the edge here. And I can just put you like on this edge, you know? Like right up against the glass. Or on the scarf, like nice and comfy. There you go. Just chilling. And you need to be more on the surface as well here. About there is probably good. And let's get these two in there. These two can probably be joined. Is it Alt J? No. Control J? There we go. Ooh, that is a little tumultuously off of the edge here. How do I want to do that? I am just gonna remove the plate. And probably duplicate out that plate and use it instead. Oh no, our pie might be too big for it. No. Who's gonna notice if we just scale it a little bit, like a little bit? Just enough for our pie to sit on it. It really hangs off of the side there. Ah, no. Okay. Just gonna delete that. Keep that position and scale. Because if I twist it, it kind of pokes into the windowsill. And I'll just squeeze this one down a little bit. Just a little bit. Nobody has to know. Whoa, what happened to my camera? Oh, it's like way off in the middle of nowhere. There. Okay. You are way off. Okay. I want you to be here. And there was a way to do that too. I just don't remember what it was. How do I tell the camera to be where I am? Snap to where I am. There's a way to do this. I just don't remember. Active object as camera? No, that's not it. Line active camera to view. There you are. Yeah. Okay, now we're closer to where we want to be. That said, I think I want it to be orthographic, so let me try that again. I think that's it. Okay. Was it Control Alt 0? Was that right? Or not? How do I do this so that I can make it stay with me? I don't really remember how to make the camera just sort of follow my mouse until I get it in the right spot. No, that's not it. Nope, who knows? Not me. This might be good enough. The only thing is I have to scale everything to fit into the camera. I believe I can't wiggle the camera away because it's orthographic. Like even if I go all the way out here, it's still not in the scene enough. Which is fine, I just have to grab everything else. Just gonna put that in order here. It's not gonna let me. Why not? It's just this. There. That's all I wanted to remove. Every one of the objects needs to be pulled down until they're in the scene, right? Well, not like that. Okay, all of this, but not the camera. It's fine, I'll fix it later or never. You don't know. Not the camera, stop. There. Or really just the camera. Hold on. Yeah, I like that. And that should be all we need. That should be all we need. You're also going to get the same material. And I'm just going to vertex paint you like something like that. Supposedly, if it works. You know what? I'm not fighting it. Come here. Goodbye, cube. I only need one of these, so. All of the rest of this can go. I just need a solid plane, really. That's it. And to jump into vertex paint and set it as something wall colory. Can I get like more saturated? Or maybe it should be more like a cream colored wall. So way less saturated. Let's just start there. And object mode. I'm just going to set your origin to geometry. And from here we can start making the walls. All right, never mind. Hold on. I'll just do it as an object. Should be X. And pull you over here. And what was it? Control J? Yeah, join them. Bring this up to here. I'm gonna need one more cut. There. And from there, I can just... Really? This thing wants to fight me right now? What in the world? That's bizarre. I wonder if it's because of the like orthographic view camera. What? Let me try something real quick. I don't think this should be the reason that this is happening, but it might be the reason that this is happening. Nope, it's just... Wow, that is weird. I'm gonna save it and restart it. I don't think something is going well. Let's make a new folder. Acorn scene. The acorn blend. And we're just going to restart. That is so weird. How is that happening? That is not right. Like I'm trying to zoom in on the object, but it is not doing it. It's almost not functional at all. How does the camera get in a state like that? I just... View offset is locked? View offset is locked. Okay. View lock clear? Probably not. Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't know what that was. What? But we're good now. Whew, that's bizarre. Anyway. Wait, and now our stuff is too small for the scene? I don't know. I don't know, man. This is weird. Oh, it's because of the perspective. Hold on. There, back to normal. Our scene is our scene again. Goodness. You're gonna have to be a new material soon. So let's go ahead and try to duplicate this into a new material with transparency. And I'm going to call you glass. I don't know if that's going to work. The alpha. There was something else I did before to make it work. I just don't remember what it was. I might not need to have a material here. Like I could, in the end, just delete the window, right? Who's gonna know? And just put whatever I want back there. You know what? For now, that's what I'm doing. Ignoring it. Got a problem? Ignore it. Easy peasy. Though at this point it is worth acknowledging that the light is still broken. One crisis at a time. It's gonna be, I don't know, some kind of golden light anyway. So all of that can go. No, not like that. Not you. SX? Yeah, there we go. And this one just needs to be vertex painted and something like super bright. It should technically be the light, but you know, whatever. Which means that this could probably be something a bit more, a bit of something else, you know what I mean? Whatever this color is. Give me a second while I remember something I needed to do way earlier on. Oh! Oh, goodness. Oh, why? Why? Okay. That's fine. Totally fine. That explains a few things. That explains why a few things weren't showing up the way I wanted. Why are my colors murky? It's usually because of that. And now this can be way less saturated, like an eggshell white wall. Not that. I don't know, what color wall do I want? Just gonna look at some interiors. Let's go a bit more here. Yeah, just trend it a little towards the red a bit more. Now we got all of that going for us. Do we want to start like looping the autumn leaves in the background? Or fine-tune our positioning a little bit more? Like all of this could be way more in focus. You know what I mean? I'm trying to imagine it, and I think that's it. I think that's the way I want to take this. And we can start putting some leaves in the back now. I don't think I want to spend anything past like 5 o'clock, right? But I just have a particle emitter dropping leaves intermittently. That's like one way to do it. Or I just manually spin them down. It wouldn't feel terribly random, though, if I did it that way. What's the method here? Because I don't think a particle emitter, or at least I don't know how to do this with a particle emitter, to tell it to put a spin on the particles on the way out, you know? Unless the emitter itself is maybe spinning. That might be a bit more than I can understand for this for now. Let me move the flat leaves to a different collection. Okay. Where are your origins? Why does it not show me your origins? I need to see that. There we go. Yeah, it's not too bad. They can rotate on that. What else? I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Hi, Jojo. Super busy, just popping in. Thanks for dropping by. I hope things calm down. Hope it's not like too crazy for a Monday. Right now I'm just trying to think about how I want to animate the leaves into the scene. Because like, here's our scene currently. And I just want to like have some leaves drifting by on the way down. Like spinning, fluttering in the wind. But I'm not really sure how to sell that either by a particle emitter or like just keying them manually one by one, which is not ideal. Let's try a particle emitter first. Just mess with one. I want it to like push out that way, I think. And you're within the frame here? Okay. So this is how I want them to fall with the wind towards our little acorn dude. And we go make new particle system. Leaves falling. I'm just gonna start trying it, I guess. No, I'm not do that. Collection, and the collection's gonna be leaves. We can probably be in the layout for this. And I'm just going to put like 30 seconds of time for us to test this. As you can see that they are happening. They're happening. But they're very small. Your scale is probably too small. Are these applied? Because they should be. That ain't it. I wonder what's affecting that. Come here. How do I control that? Ooh. I mean, that's one way to do it. Try to start with that. And the first thing is to throw it in the other direction. Newtonian mass? No, let's not mess with any of that, because that's not what I want. I want some Brownian, I guess, like 0.4. Want that to happen with a bit of randomness. And next thing I want is to change your direction. Is it Z? Or negative Z? I guess that's one way. Gosh, particles are so weird. The next thing I know is I don't need this many of them. And I do need them to have rotations. Okay. Just maximize rotation. Any old thing. Collisions and effectors, not really needed for this. Unless they start flying into the window. What else? I think we leave that alone. Don't know what this does. I forget. I forgot almost everything, and it's been like a week. It's not even been a week since we were messing with this the last time. Oh no. Integration? I think that's what it was. This part. It's like messing with the speed of it on the whole. So I can kind of throw that. It's still happening like way too much, but use count extra. No, not that. I don't think that matters. Do I want there to be some drag? It does kind of make them drift around a little bit more in a fun way. Let me try something. I just wanted the edge here. Okay, yeah, okay, kind of like that. And then we just make them live for a very long time. Yeah, we need to make them live for a very long time. Longer, like, I don't know, at least 250 frames. See? There we go. Oh no, they're flying into the scene now. Closer, but not quite there yet. Okay. The next thing I want to have control over is, can I make the particles themselves rotate on the way down? Because that would be just really cool if I could. Can I randomize the phase? Is that what it is? Doesn't seem like it is. Like dynamic? What does that mean? Well, they're jittering a lot. Unless I turn that off. They're still jittering a lot though. Wonder what that's about. Seem to be falling with different speeds depending on their scale, which I guess is fine. Like, kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's not the worst, not the best. I just need to fix that minimum scale so they're not so tiny. At their smallest, you know? Well, I guess for now, it's fine. It's out of the scene. It doesn't matter if it's showing. I think whatever we do, we're gonna have to like pre-warm it. Right? So that it's already like mid-fall. Can you start at a certain time? Can I make you start like -50 frames in? So that when I start, you're already going? Nope. Doesn't seem to work. Frame number to start emitting particles. Should work on a negative number, but I guess not. We'll just start here. Start like 60 frames in. Now that's interesting. You're still not starting until... That's not right. What in the world? It's like the particles exist and then just aren't thrown until... Okay. The next thing I need to make sure of is that you are not gonna fly through the window as much. Thing just refuses to pre-warm when I want it to. I'm back here. Start pretending now. Ta-da! Okay, I think we did pretty good speed so far. I would still like to be able to rotate those particles on the way down. They just kind of fall flatly. Like they start with a nice randomization to the rotation, but I want them to spin. How do I make them spin? I don't know if that changes anything, really. I don't know if it's all the snapping there. No. No, that ain't it. This does kind of make more of the leaves fall towards the camera a bit better, I guess. So you see more of them. The only downside to this is really I can't get them to turn. Maybe I make a bunch of small emitters and then I start spinning those. Do they keep in mind where their like source is going? Like if I take this, stop doing that. If I take this edge, and this one, I'll just scale them back inward. And I just make a few of them, right? Set origin to geometry. And then I'm just going to make a bunch of them and spin them. See. And all of you are going to key at the start your what am I thinking? Rotation. It's never going to be like the world or not local rotations, is it? Can I do that through here though? Nope. Fine. Fine. Let's just do it with this one just to test if it works. It does not seem to be doing the thing. Well, the first thing is that it's not spinning the way I want it to. Just delete that keyframe. Try that. Nope. There, rotation. Why are you not throwing it the right way? Like, it's all like world rotation that it's happening on, and I don't know why. Like, it's doing this when it could be doing this. Like, this is how I want it to go. Is it delta rotation? Who knows? Nope. Sure isn't. Or maybe it is, but this needed to be that as well. So, I didn't mean to delete that. You know I didn't mean to delete that. Come on. Right. Insert your delta rotation. And then we're gonna go spin your delta rotation. Maybe. No, what? No, what? I give up. That ain't it either. And I still don't think it's actually throwing the particles in a way that I want it to. So bizarre how it doesn't use its own, it's always the world and not the local. Fine. How do I spin these particles? I'm still at an utter loss. I truly don't know. I can make them jitter. I can't make them really smoothly turn though. I wonder why it jitters like that. I don't know. If I could make it... It's somewhere in here, I think, the answer. I just don't know what it is. Oh. Oh, they're turning now. Okay, some angular velocity. Okay, it's a little too uniform, but we can probably just throw a little twist on that. Okay, so we don't need all of these. Okay, cool. All of these can go. We're on it now. We know what to do now. Okay. We don't need a frame at this point. There's so much that happened, like, too much of this happens way off camera. So let's tighten that up a bit. Like that. Hi, Zergling. I am learning how to spin the leaves on the way down. And they're finally starting to do it. There's still this weird jitter going on. But we're in the ballpark of correct. And so, thank you. I am almost there. The shadows are not shadowing. There's no lights in the scene. I don't care enough to fix that. If I can just get the leaves doing some kind of leafy thing, then I'm going to be happy. I think I'm going to be happy with it. For a little contained stream scene. Doesn't need to be the best thing in the world. I might put some steam on the coffee, but that'll probably be it. Yeah, I think that does take up too much space. I'm gonna just squeeze that down a little bit. And you need to be bigger. I think you need to take up more space in the scene. And your arms could be a bit bigger too. No, not all of this, just the arms. But then they need to be brought back into the model. Hold on. I don't know. If I can just get away with stop playing. There. Might be a little out of position, but otherwise fine. Oh, not that, not that. No, I'm going to keep the uniform scale. Maybe just pull it further down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That ain't it. I think that makes me happy. That's happy enough for me. Try reducing. I am going to dial that down once I have the behavior in the right place. This just helps me to see. If you remember from the Big Bang days where I would just have particle emitters be like, the particles are entirely too massive and there's entirely too many of them. But while I'm working on them, I would have them always dialed up so I could see. So what I want to work on is that jitter. Okay, and give it a save. Throwing more velocity seems to help a little bit, but it still kind of like wiggles around a bit, and I don't know why. Okay, no physics does not help me. It has to have, I guess, that's part of it. Just throwing a little bit of weight seems to help. Remove the jittering, and then I think the axis needs to be affected. It started as this. I wonder if that has something to do with it. And then that Brownian can probably come way up. Oh, that's what's doing it. Okay. Maybe I can randomize the phase a lot more. So I don't want them to be all spinning at the same speed or intensity, you know? Just randomize completely, all of that. I guess that might be as much as I can get away with for now. Let me try to dial it in a little more. That seems to do it. The only thing that I'm noticing now is that it all falls straight down. And I would love it ever so much if it could just like go that way. I'm gonna try to do this. Oh, that's not it. No, we're not deflecting. Hiya, Pixel Tuner. Thank you. I am fussing with particles. I just wanted to do a new month, new fall season kind of thing that's not like Halloween's over, but it's still very autumnal. So let's make something autumnal. And I thought I would just animate like some steam off of the mug and some falling leaves. At this point, I think I'm willing to just accept falling leaves because I wanted this to be like a one stream thing, right? Just one and done. However, I have spent a lot of time on these leaves. I'm starting to get a very primitive understanding of how Blender's emission or particles work, but like you can see it's still not quite there. Just want to throw it at more of an angle. I guess some of them can have a little bit more different, like a variety of velocities. I wouldn't mind that if it actually showed that it was doing that. Let the emitter object orientation give the particle a starting velocity. I would think that that would be what it is. I'm going to throw both of these numbers up and see what happens. Oh, that doesn't look like it does. Well, kinda. Wait, no, it's kind of doing something. It's not doing what I want, but it's doing something. So that's a sign. Okay. This, but in the other way. So like, that away. No. Well, kinda. It's like its starting velocity and then it just falls off really hard so that by the time it gets into our shot, it's still falling straight down. Okay. I don't know why. I kind of want it to not be like, I think it's because of the dampening, not dampening, but a little drag that's happening, that it winds up falling straight down by the time it gets in the shot. But like the drag is currently the only thing that is preventing that weird jitter from happening that we were looking at earlier. So I don't know. Just turn it off for a second just to see. I can turn it back on later. And this too. I want to get the direction right. It's great to see experimenting with those. Can't wait for Friday. Uh-oh, what's happening Friday? We may have a surprise going on. They had it almost spoiled. Almost spoiled. I hope I should pay more attention, actually, because I would have missed it entirely. I'm trying to think like, ooh, what did Yadi spoil? It went right over my head. Don't worry. I have no idea what's up for Friday. And I also have not yet done my homework. I'm going to do it. Tomorrow's stream will be homeworking, but today is autumn vibes and throwing lots of particle leaves around. Oh goodness, if I can figure out how. That didn't. That might work in the render, but it's not working now. That's probably because it like starts when the animation starts, this little temporary playback. As I understand it, I'm not sure on that yet, but if I wanted to understand cache, I could probably get a better sample, but that sounds like more work, and I don't want more work. Let me just put everything back at 0. Everything's at 0, and it's falling straight down. Okay, but that way. Yeah. Okay, that's what I was after earlier. You know what? I take it as a win. I'm just gonna tune it in a little bit more so that it's in the direction we want. Oh goodness, and stuff. Wee. It is kind of fun to mess with though. Now it's still falling too fast. So it's doing something but not doing everything that we want yet. Like if the wind were really kicking outside, this would make sense, but right now it does not. I just gotta pull it in somehow. And my brain tells me to use drag. But if I use drag, well, we're back to going straight down. I just have to kind of find the sweet spot between drag and flinging things violently off to the left. Okay, so like, wait, way harder. That way? Nope. That ain't it. Damp? Air drag. You damp it. No. I don't think that's it either. I'm just gonna leave these two alone. These two are giving me trouble. She spoiled it on stream, so only the one so much. I showed up on stream, but it was like, I think after you left, so I might have missed it. Or on her stream last night, but yeah. I hope it'll be fun. Just make sure you have downloaded Blender for... I had to move backwards just for today because the voxel importer was not working with 4.5. But Zergling pointed out that it might have been how I selected the file to import and not related to it being 4.5. But yes, I still have it. I still have it. It's still ready to go. Okay. How do I slow this fool? You. Come here. Time step. Okay. This, but closer. So. How about now? Now we now have like a little blind spot. Let's not have a blind spot. There. How about now? I think this is it. I think this makes me happy. Yes! I am happy enough with this. The only thing I want now is to see a little bit more of the coffee, but I don't know if I want to fuss with the camera too terribly much. Can I tilt it down just a little bit? Just like a little bitty bit. What in the world? Is it not? Okay, yeah, you're working. Okay. Pull it up. And take it just a little bit down. How's that? Let me give it a save before I set my computer on fire. You can also take a look at the plugin tonight. Okay. You made a tiny acorn peek from the coffee cup every now and then. Acorn flavored coffee. I don't know. I kind of wish we went with that stretch goal that we had earlier of like putting a squirrel on the other side of the glass, just like trying to paw its way through the glass to get to the acorn or something, but I think I'm happy enough with this. $6.54. Yeah. Acorn coffee. Is that a real thing? I really doubt that's a real thing. So I use a plugin for the particles? No. I'm just using the whatever came with Blender and these sliders here. And I'm telling it to reference this collection of leaves, which we imported with the scene earlier. Really, that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the plugin you use is for culling the voxel objects. Culling? No? I'm confused. The only thing culling, like if you're asking what's killing the leaves, there's a lifetime. Like they should be dead by the time they hit 250 frames of themselves. You're not culling, but importing them and removing edges inside. Oh yeah, it can clean up the mesh. We decided to import it a different way this time. For sanity's sake, we used the greedy mesh on the way in so that our models look like this and not like you remember the cozy room where every single voxel, or at least the exterior of every single voxel was rendered, which gave us a little bit more control, but more control than we needed. And was probably a million tries if you looked under the hood, but you know, whatever. This is a little bit more efficient, not like perfectly, but you know, closer. I wish I could set this on a perfect loop. I can't really, but that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that plane down to something more believable. Now that we kind of have it in the sweet spot. It got so dark I can't see my keyboard. That is better. It's still, does it still seem a bit fast? Or have I just been looking at it for too long? And tune this way down. Yeah, that seems better to me. Still could be a little bit slower though. Just a little bit. Where is it? You. 0.005. Okay, now it's too slow. 0.007. Oh, no, the particles are dying while they're on screen. I don't like that either. No. I don't know, 500. There's not a lot happening that I really have to worry about this. Yeah. No, wait, oh, that's because it ended. Okay. I think this is the one that I'm happy with, but while we have less leaves, maybe some of them could be bigger. There's such a huge element of the drawing. Okay. Here we are. Let's try that. Just a couple of really big leaves. Because our acorn is huge. Maybe the leaves should be huge. Okay, I think that's where I'm going to call it. I think that's where I'm happy with it. And if I jump off stream and like clean it up at all, I'm probably just going to put steam on the coffee and see if I can fix the light again. We can get our toon shadows and have a nice bloom of golden autumn light kicking in through the window. But that's about it. But yeah, thank y'all for coming to hang out, and I hope y'all have an excellent rest of your day. And I will see y'all probably tomorrow. We can work on homework. Yay! I'll try to think of something fun to sculpt, because I need to get into sculpting and get an understanding of sculpting. But yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.